What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. The market is selling off a little bit. Japan is demanding full removal of U.S. tariffs, and the Chinese president is saying that he has not had any talks with Trump, even though Trump has said otherwise. Trump is still demanding action against naked short selling in the U.S. markets. And overall, I want to talk about GameStop, AMC, earnings plays, and a couple other plays as well. So without further ado, like the video. That is all I ask. It's free. It's completely free. So since I edit, research, upload, record, not in that order for you guys, that is all I ask. And I do appreciate everybody dropping a comment as to what number like they are. I'm getting a ton of those comments, which engage the algorithm for these videos. So thank you guys so much for the support. SPY is trading at 546, down 0.8% on the day, and we broke below a key support level at 547.25. You can see on the 1 hour time frame, this is just a little bit of a retracement. We are watching for the SPY to hold 544.60 today. If we don't hold 544.60, I'm looking at 538.75 for a little bit of a retracement. Now on the daily time frame, the SPY has broken below this fib level, and if we close underneath this, it will be slightly bearish for the short term. We could build a base off of the center of this descending parallel channel, which would bring us down to about 542.40, but ultimately we have the major support block that I would say now sitting right around 533. As long as the SPY holds 533 this entire week, we are still likely to continue to climb. Okay, so we are watching that level. I want to talk about GameStop. It's trading at $27, down 1.42% on the day, and it has been continuously fighting this level for a breakout. Let me grab my brush right here. So we had a test on this once, well, actually twice, depending on the trend line that you look at, 3 times, 4 times, and now a 5th time. And you can see GameStop came up, rejected, but it wasn't a hard rejection. It actually came up because it is resilient and it really wants that breakout out of this zone. So we're watching it very, very closely, but there are a couple of things that I want to point out. I'm going to take you on a larger time frame. This is the weekly time frame. I'll bring the drawings in right here. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's jump to the 4 hour. Okay, here's what I see happening on GameStop. One, yesterday we talked about a little bit of tin. We talked about did Roaring Kitty want us to DRS our shares? I posted a tweet. I don't know if that was the case. It was just one thought that I had. But another thought that was pretty much plain daylight. I talked to somebody at my gym. Shout out Matt. But we were talking about it. We were talking about it because we both own GameStop. We think the whole thing's interesting. And the GMEU, the 2x leveraged ETF, which is straight up just in the sense volatility, right? GMEU comes out. It wasn't exactly on April 20th, but it was shortly after April 20th, right? I believe maybe the 22nd. And you had that 109, 420, and then max volume, right? And then I believe he's been hinting at you. There were a couple things that pointed to DRS, but ultimately the GMEU and the volatility go hand in hand as to that is what he was hinting at. Now, where I get stumped is, was he saying buy GMEU? I don't know. Either way, I would not move my GameStop shares to another ticker. That's just not going to happen. But I do want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. I actually want to know your thoughts. I actually want to read them. And if you're in the Discord, I would love to hear it. As far as the chart goes, very quickly, this is how GameStop is trading. It's trading in this March 26 pattern where we get this spike. And I have mapped it out time and time again. It is the same thing. It is an algorithm. And based on this algorithm, if you take the bars pattern, just grab the bars pattern from here, this is something that you get. Now you can see that GameStop played very similarly, but we didn't actually get this retracement. This is scary. It doesn't have to happen, but if GameStop were to technically play out the similar scenario, we would see a hard retracement down to 2150 or maybe even slightly lower. Will that happen? I would almost say no and call it off, because if GameStop dropped down to those levels, there are so much retail whales that after the Bitcoin announcement have bought in, will buy more, as well as just retail investors who are buying small amounts as well. That would be a crazy dip buy opportunity. Do institutions want to do that? I'm not really sure. Institutions have still been buying up at these prices, so I doubt that would be the case. But ultimately, this red line that you have drawn in right here is what these cycles love to play out. After this point, right? After this point is when GameStop squeezes to all-time highs, which would theoretically make the highs around late June. Okay, that is something that we would look at. Late June would be all-time highs. It could happen before. I just want to put that out there, but this correlates. Now, Standard Chartered Bank predicts Bitcoin to reach all-time high in the second quarter, and I actually agree with them. If we look at the Bitcoin power law corridor, we can see Bitcoin is still in the green range. It has not entered the red range, being the overbought zones. Now, obviously, Bitcoin does have diminishing returns, so that's something that we have to pay attention to. But ultimately, based on the highs that we've seen in the cycles, I do expect Bitcoin to hit its peak right around June 23rd. Okay, Monday, June 23rd, I expect Bitcoin to hit a peak. I don't know the price. Maybe it matches all-time highs, it gets slightly higher, or maybe it gets a lot higher, much higher. But ultimately, that is what I expect. And that also lines up with GameStop. GameStop could hit its highs shortly after getting that Bitcoin proxy, just like MicroStrategy. But what I do know is at some point in this zone, right? We have this box right here before late June. In this zone, we'll say right here, random date, Ryan Cohen's going to come out and say, hey, we bought Bitcoin. And we bought Bitcoin when it was at 78 grand, right? Just as an example, that is going to really launch GameStop higher. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. As far as AMC goes, I want to talk about this very briefly. It's actually holding up very well. We are sitting on the weekly time frame, and I do expect AMC to do something very similarly. We have these cycles drawn out that do play out, and just to show you that they are a little bit different, this is what I'm looking at. These are the different cycles right here, and we see a peak right here at the top of the cycle, peak right here, top of the cycle. Same time frame, we should have seen the peak right here, late March, early April, but we did not see that. Okay, this is an extended cycle. It's going slow, and we've seen that across the board. We've seen that with Roaring Kitty's timeline. He said, all right, I'll wait as long as it takes. But ultimately, what I see happening with AMC is between June 16th and August 11th, it will hit its all-time high. So mid to late June, then you have the month of July. I do think AMC will hit its all-time high. Now, people get mad about AMC, not covering AMC. Again, it barcodes, but I have given you, and I have given you and said my own opinion. Hey, this still has an 800% gain minimum in it. And that's not all I said. I said it could break past that and very well get right up to 90, which is a 3,200% gain. And that is before any algorithms break or anything along the lines of that. That could very well happen and we could go way, way higher. Okay, I just want to put that out there. Leave that on the table. If AMC does break all-time highs, then this would be obscene gains. Okay, it would be a lot more than GameStop's gains. And that's something you got to weigh in, right? Are you all in on AMC, all in on GameStop, or all in on both? And what do you think is going to happen? I didn't map this out, but if GameStop, for example, let me hide these very quick. GameStop, for example, from where it's at right now, broke all-time highs, you're only going to see a 370% gain. That is so doable. It's actually disgusting. I think we're going to smash right through all-time highs, and we are going to come much, 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 much higher. Ultimately, that's basically what I have here for AMC and GameStop. GameStop absolutely going to go above $300. it could possibly go above 2,000 pretty easily, and that would be crazy gains as well. So I just want to put that out there. We also seeing crazy dark pool activity today on GameStop, so it's not like things are over on this slight red day. Now, Webull and Finger Motion on high alert options open up for bull today. Cost to borrow 464%, short volume 15 million shares, and investors bought 3,392 call options for FNGR, which is an increase of 279%. Bringing this up because FNGR is a short squeeze play. It has earnings Wednesday, May 28th, and we got to watch it closely. But on top of that, Webull 1543, down 10.5%. After everything I just stated, I also said in Discord in the Google Doc that we are reaching a bottom. I do think 1550 is a possible bottom for Webull, and I think this is a great buying opportunity. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I will likely be adding some Webull. Now, 60% of CEOs expect a recession in the next 6 months due to tariffs, which leads me into the earnings plays. I assume this video is going on long right now, so make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So I'll talk about this briefly. A couple that I'm watching coming up very closely. SoFi, it reports earnings before open tomorrow on Tuesday. But we also have PayPal, UPS, JetBlue, Coca-Cola, Pfizer, Spotify, Visa, Starbucks, all important ones coming out tomorrow. I want you to watch SoFi. A couple levels I have are around 1450 or around 1165. So I'm going to watch those levels as well, which are around 11% moves both ways. Robinhood, I actually see this more as a bullish play, but I would prefer it to come down here before its earnings, which I don't think will happen. But 4250 is the down target, $60 is the up target. Meta reports it is testing this descending resistance level, and this could be, if it will sell off on earnings, this could be a major entry point because you already get that first initial rejection off of this trend line, and then you get to play what happens with earnings as well, which could be a huge drop on Meta down to making its way down to 422 or 480 initially. Okay, so this thing can have big moves. Microsoft came down and actually tested support around 386.50. Watch this one closely. This could get a bounce here. If we don't get a bounce, I'm watching 384 to 380. CleanSpark, I want you to keep an eye on it. It reports May 7th. This one is actually setting up pretty decent as well. I talked about NVIDIA getting a push up here over the next month or so, or less than a month, over the next few weeks. I do still think this is in play. I think we have great call buying opportunities here for NVIDIA, but that's not to say it can't sell off further. I would watch for an entry point around 105.60. Tesla got a retrace. I said watch for a retrace in the Google Doc at 275 to 271. We got a retrace right into this liquidity zone right here, and I would be looking for some calls on Tesla coming up between 300, 303 as the first price target, and then I have other price targets following that. But overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Don't forget the top link brings you to my Discord where I post my trades and we talk stocks and crypto all day long with the most amazing people. Best vibes are in this Discord server. It's cheap for the value that you get out of it. It's actually very cheap. You can make your money back in 2 minutes with a trade and more. You can probably pay for Discord for a few years. Now, if you want... also, we have tons of alerts in there that are well worth it if you didn't even want to talk in Discord. We have a futures trading account where you can get 50% off. Okay, April's almost over. You got to do this right now before April's over because I don't think they're going to extend it, but use code LOTTO at checkout to get 50% off funded accounts. This is going to be... you're going to miss a major opportunity if you don't do this before April's over. And you can buy up to 3 accounts at a time. So if you've already used my code and got a funded account, grab 2 more, use code LOTTO. And then obviously if you want free stocks, I'll plug that right here. That is it, guys. I love you all. Let's make some money this week. God bless. Lottery Stocks out. Mumu, a free broker, 0 commissions, start with $0, get access to customizable earnings calendars, viewing other exchanges, its heat map feature, those daily news updates that you need for stocks, and plenty more. But start with actual cash into your account, as in signing up through my link and depositing. Get up to 60 free stocks and earn 8.1% APY on cash that is sitting in your account uninvested whenever you're not trading. Plus the initial amount you put into your account, earn a 3% match on that up to $600. Yes, pre-market, post-market trading, trading options, going long, going short, fractional shares, all that good stuff. And a feature I personally like, Mumu brought back the comment section under stocks. Obviously other tools, financial overview, so on and so on. Plenty of things that I did not list, but overall, tons of tools to help you and free stocks hooking me up as well as yourself. Press that link, open an account, and deposit into Mumu now.